Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome! So here we are, and we'll be getting ready to go here in just a moment. Yeah, the trash talk in time. Yeah, part 2, baby! The trash strikes back. But no, it should be really good. Just gonna get the game open here, windowed. I tell you, I always say this, but my favourite time is like the second part, because we know what's happened, but I get to play the game in windowed mode, which is always good. How you doing there, for? Good to have you, my dude. So let's get the game going here in just a moment. I was busy over the weekend, but it has been actually really quite useful. I mean, this is it. Like everybody needs to have some actual say in what goes on, really. So it's always nice to actually give people the time to actually digest what's actually occurred and really come up with their own interpretation of events and really what they think should be done, or just, well, this is it really. It's good to have that discussion. Always good to have that discussion. Okay, there we go. Now, something I was doing over the weekend here, I'm just going to go and bring it up, is I was taking some actual screenshots as well of the actual turn resolution. So let's see. I didn't grab everything, but I got a few things which was quite good. Let's see. Right, okay, here we go. So this is from the Chrysanthemum Order on Discord, but these were the actual screenshots I was taking on the actual weekend. So this was obviously during the night phase here, so we can see that this is presumably the Allied Cruiser Task Force, as far as I can tell. Now, this looks to be a submarine. I really can't tell, but I think it looks like a submarine. The profile looks similar to a submarine profile. Yeah, then we can see here is in fact a submarine. When it, yeah, there we go. So you can see there's a submarine operating over here, which is good to know. But we see that this is the CVLs, which is really interesting. At least I do think it's the CVLs. It's a little bit hard to tell here, but I think this is the Light Cruiser Task Force. This is the CVEs, and this was the battleships and the heavy cruisers rushing out to meet the CVEs. So it looks as though, I think we took, obviously, the most direct path. It looks as though he took one that was just slightly to the north, about 40 nautical miles to the north. Now, we do have a report, actually, in the night from F1M2 Pete in regards to this, but this looks to be the actual cruiser task force here, still during the night phase. And then moving on into the day phase, you can see that we only see the cruiser mine layers. So I think what's happened during the night is the light cruisers, obviously, they were sent out to hunt down the Sumatra. It appears that the Sumatra has sank, as far as I can tell, but we did see 2 ships at least with it, which were more than likely the cruiser mine layers. So it looks like what's happened is they've sailed down this way. Now, I don't know what this is. This could be potentially the heavy cruiser Exeter and potentially a light cruiser. Who knows? It might be like a larger force, it might be a smaller force. This, I think, is the AMCs, though I'd have to check on the previous positions from the previous streams. But this is the last time we saw the heavy cruisers. Well, saw the cruiser force. It's the... I mean, it's a little bit hard to say, but if we take a look over this one. So I do have a report here then. So 59117, so obviously that's the hex there. Speed 17 knots moving northwest. So that was a report there from F1M2 Pete during the night phase. So that's interesting. So 59117, we'll go check that one out in just a second. Okay. See, Twitch is a Twitch is a terrible. No, sorry, Discord is a terrible habit of like posting thumbnails from the actual stream of like actually what's going on the stream, which isn't exactly great. Okay, so 59117. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Okay, so 59117. Right, 59117 then. Okay, so that's quite interesting then. So if we take a look at this, I'll bring up the actual drawing tool here. So let's see. So, that would suggest about this position here. So if I take a look, so 59117, sorry, no that's 58117. There we go, 59117, there we go. So this is 59117. So if we take a look over here then, the distance to Kopang is about 9 hexes. Yeah, pointy arrows time. How you doing, Mamira? Good to have you, my dude. Now, what I want to figure out here then is the distance. I think it's presumable that they might have made it about I mean, this is it. We could take a look at the previous turn and figure out our previous position and work out roughly where we were. But what I'm suspecting here is he may not have moved at full speed. Now, he might... I think he might be moving about 8 hexes in a turn. Now, it could be more, but I think about 8 hexes. What I'm trying to say here is... well, then again, is he moving at full speed? I think if he was moving at full speed, I mean, you can see here from our CVLs, they were moving at full speed, and obviously he managed to make this distance. So it does make me wonder, is the actual report correct? Is the report correct to a degree? As in, like, is this the last time we detected the actual cruisers? Are they in this position still? Because we only had one report, and that was from the night phase. You can see that we have a light cruiser task force over here. Now, it is presumable that if the enemy cruiser force was actually moving at full speed as well, they could, in theory, be maybe somewhere in this area here. Which is an interesting one, because it's one of these, we really don't have that much in the way of information here. Like, I wish we had a reconnaissance report over here. If we had a sight, then that'd be fantastic. Now, I did have a comment reporting that there was a notification regarding the G4M1s at Kopang and poor weather, at least poor weather in the area. Plotting to turn each other's pretty ships into fish habitats. Yeah, indeed, really. So it's interesting. So I think what we're going to do here, then, it really is going to be interesting, because it's one of these of, could he really reconcile the idea of advancing upon Kopang itself? And I don't know, I don't think so. They could be a little bit further to the south than we actually expect. I mean, if we take a look over here, you can see that there is extreme overcast at Kopang. Militant ecologists, yeah. Yeah. What, like, what is it? Extinction Rebellion and all that crap. Yeah, so if we take a look over here then, so you can see the weather is extreme overcast over here, extreme overcast over this end as well. Now, these guys have 4 out of 9 detection over them. These guys have 3 out of 9 detection over them. There are PBYs operating in the area. But I do wonder if it's obviously the float planes that could have been on board the actual heavy cruisers of the Allied Task Force. I mean, they very well may still be here in the area. But what I'm going to do here, then, is we do have this force over here, but what I'm going to do, then, is actually have this one look to meet up with our forces. I could have it potentially chase down these cruiser mine layers, and it is a tempting target. It is definitely a tempting target. But the issue is the light cruisers and the destroyers. They are a potent force, but they're not, but they're not invincible. And if there's a number of light cruisers around, well, allied light cruisers and heavy cruisers around, potentially heavy cruiser, a few light cruisers, I don't want to have them set out there to be potentially destroyed, really. So what I'm going to do is have them at a low threat threshold. They're going to be set to merge with this element of the Kitapatai. Now, this element of the Kitapatai is obviously still heading on its way back. Okay. We do have our submarines moving south, which is good news. Now, let's take a look at the range here. So the range to this force is about 7 hexes. How you doing there, Nanning? Welcome, my dude. So we might potentially have a strike over here, but it's unlikely. We can see here, we have used a lot of our operation points, and they're not going to be moving the full distance anyhow. But the good news is, well, it's not too much of a problem. It's not really a problem, to be fair. We do have fuel enough to make it back. We are somewhat low on fuel, but we should have fuel enough. We could spread it out, but I think we're okay for the time being. I'd like to make the as much distance as we can, really. But yeah, I mean, you can see, obviously, the battleships over here have used some of their operation points. The CVEs, not too many, about a quarter of theirs. Overall, not too bad. So what we're going to do here, then. These guys are set to 10% naval surge. I may potentially up this, but we do have to bear in mind, we do have the Chiyoda over here, which is a good news. Well, very good news. Now, I'm going to have these guys switch out to the flying at night, basically. It's one of these things, it is likely we could detect the enemy at night, so I'm going to prepare for that possibility there, really. And by that, I mean just really upping the amount of naval search at night. Not tremendously so, but noticeably. Honestly, it would be good to have this information. I am somewhat tempted to have some of the G4M1s fly at night. It could be useful, but it's one of these of, I don't know, really. It depends on how likely we are to actually spot a target. We're obviously more likely during the day to spot a target. So I think I'll keep the G4M1s flying on the actual day patrols there, really. Now, they can fly at about 12 hexes. They could potentially fly out even further. And the reason I say that is there is a potential possibility for us to use the zeros if we so wish to do so, but I'm not in a massive rush to do that. Okay, those guys are making speed there. Now, we do still have some forces over here, which is good news. But what I'm going to do here, then, is these guys are going to cancel unloading. I'm going to have them disband into the actual into the actual port over here. Now, we do have a couple of patrol boats. We do have some destroyers over here, which is good news. So what I'm going to do then, the good news is they would obviously unload in supplies. Now, what I'm going to do then is form a surface task force. How many destroyers do I have here? So I do have 5. It would have been nice had we had 6. I could have had 2 forces of 3 destroyers. But I'm going to go with 5. Obviously just have the numbers there. Well, what I'll do then is they're going to be set here to patrol at Kopang. I'm going to set them to normal threat threshold here, really. Yeah, so patrol here at Kopang. I don't know, I do worry about the potential possibility for him to come here, so I'm going to try and have some sort of preparation for that. I mean, what I could do is actually have these guys head out here and meet the CVLs, which might not be a bad idea. It might be worthwhile to have them head out and meet the force here. It's going to use a little bit of fuel, but it's not too bad. We're only a few miles away from each other. I don't imagine he could be in front of us. I don't think that's possible for him there. Now I can have these guys dock up where they should be theoretically safe. These guys are patrolling around the area too. Yep, they're patrolling. I'll have them low threat threshold just so they don't get caught up in a fight, ideally. But yeah, okay, I think what I'll do then is have them go out and meet the actual carriers, just to ensure that we do have additional support in the area too. They're not moving out too far, so that should be okay. Right, yes, they're heading to Kopang. Now, he looks, yeah, he's definitely moving submarines to this area then. That one we can figure out quite easily. I mean, the good news is, as it remains, is that we do have a large amount of naval searching here in this area. Now, what I might do is actually put the arc further down this way. We could have a fairly wide arc, which might be potentially worthwhile, but we'll take a look at this. Right. But then again, it might be one of these cases of, is it worthwhile to have the arc? It could be. But it is one of those of where we might potentially miss targets, or we might be distracted by other targets. So I think what we might do here then is, I don't think we need to cover this end as much, so I think what we're going to do then is drop it a little bit further then. So if I drop that to about there, these guys are going to be moving into the actual band here theoretically. But what we'll do then is actually just up it to another 10 degrees there. Oops, other way really. Right, there we go. How you doing there, Hiltbrand? Good to have you, my friend. Okay. That works. So that is 40% search. You can see that we are building up with some fatigue here, but it's not too bad actually. So we can have these guys do that. So what I'm going to do is send all the G4M1s to do that one for the time being then. So 230, 290. Now what I could potentially do with these guys is potentially have them come a little bit further here to the south, which might make sense. I mean, he could head for Darwin. That is a potential possibility there, really. How you doing there, Rambarol? Good to have you, my friend. I think this is the first time having you on stream, isn't it? So welcome, welcome. You from Oxford? No, I'm from South Yorkshire, England. I come from a town called Banzai, actually. The thing is, I just don't really have much of an accent. If deep was an accent, then I would have that. But yeah, how you doing in Finland, my dude? How you doing there, Vulcan? Good to have you, my dude. Right, so we do have these 16. It might be potentially worthwhile to have them fly at night. Maybe, but then again, it's one of these things of, I'm having to split my combat air patrol then, so it's one of those, is it really worth it? Is it not? It's a bit of a harder choice. I think it's one of these things of where we always look to try and use the maximum amount of numbers. But I think what we'll do then is have them cover further to south here. So, what we'll do then is bring this down. So let's see how that looks. Okay, so that will cover this area here. Now if I was to take a look at that with the other one on then, we'd have a pretty good range there. You can see that we do have range over the actual cruiser mine layers, which is quite good there. That's 14 hexes. Though we are operating out about 12 hexes, we could, well actually saying that, we might operate further. Maybe. Yeah, 17 hexes here. Ah, thanks dude. Yeah, the thing is with my videos, is like, I always look at the videos and like, God, I made so many mistakes there. I don't know. I like to think that each video gets slightly better, but that might be wishful thinking. Let's see, if I bring this start down, actually. No, sorry, the end down. Keep that as it is. Okay, it's getting slightly better. Bring the end down a little bit more. Okay, so we take a look at that. So, in theory, this is going to cover the entire area. Now, we are looking out about 17 hexes. So, we had the report of 59117, I think it was. Which was around about there. So, that's when we had a report in the night from an F1M2. So, if we take a look at that and mark that down. So, from here to here, then... I mean, that's a pretty, well, there we go. We'll take a look at this. Where's our range? Right, so there's our range. Let's get that bread. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so if we take a look at this then, so... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hexes. 9, 10. So what I'm thinking here then is, in theory... I'm probably wrong about this, but I'm sure you guys will forgive me. But in theory, if he is at 5917, or at least in this general vicinity here, he is going to be running quite the gauntlet. It's one of these of where we're not going to be able to get him in the actual night phase. At least, it's not likely we'll get him in the night phase. In the night phase, it might be some sort of gunnery engagement. But on that instance, we do have the advantage here. But we'll see. The weather... as in Kopang, or the weather here? Would like to watch more, but life happens. No, I get that, dude, I get that. Totally get that one. Okay, so low threat threshold, that's okay. So they're heading a direct path, but they're not going to arrive in the area anyway. These guys are moving west, which is interesting. So if we take a look at this then, so we're going to have another 2 light cruisers and another 3 destroyers. So yeah, you can see here we'll have 2 battleships, 3 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers. How many destroyers we have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll have 6, 7, 8 destroyers then if my maths is not completely terrible. Never do maths live, it always goes wrong. So we'll have a damn powerful force, you know what I mean? We'll have a very, very powerful force there. Not to mention we are augmented by the seaplane cruiser, the Chiyoda. We do obviously have our escort carriers here. So... it's going to be a very interesting situation. You can see that these guys are within range. So if he's actually in this area, in the actual day phase, he could well and truly be slammed by potentially torpedoes or even harassed by bombers. Well, our torpedo bombers flying with the actual bombs there. Yeah, last raid got cancelled due to weather. Well, the weather's not so bad at the moment in time. We're seeing like overcast over this area. So we see here heavy rain over the actual carriers. We see extreme overcast in this area, overcast over here as well. So it's not particularly fantastic, but it's not particularly terrible either. It's usually what we tend to see. But the good news is we do have the aircraft here. Well, yeah, you were right there. There was a tanker near Darwin. But the thing is, with the tanker near Darwin, it's... where's it going to go? Besides Darwin. And we saw it somewhere along here, didn't we? So it's obviously we can assume that it's gone to Darwin. The thing is, though, if it goes to Darwin, then that's okay. I can get that later on, really, without much in the way of problems. If it goes this way, he's going to be running into the actual G3s or G4s from Rabal, so it's unlikely he'll do that. That'll be a number of submarines here. If he obviously heads back, well, he's going to be running to the G4M1s anyway. So it's one of these of, whatever's at Darwin. I mean, I'd love, oh god, if we find a decent haul of stuff at Darwin, that would be fantastic. It would be very, very nice to actually find a few ships at Darwin, but we'll get there when we get there. We do have a few prizes, but it's amazing. I just want you guys to really take into consideration what has actually happened here in the turn. It's kind of like how the tables are actually flipped here. We went from being in a very dangerous position, potentially where we feared that some elements of the Kid might have been sunk, to a position of really supreme strength in the area. Like, I'm not kidding. This is no joke. Like, these are fully armed. So we have the Issei class over here. Yeah, so Issei and Hyuga. So both of the Issei classes are fully armed here, and they have practically no damage on them. We have 3 heavy cruisers. We have Inachi, so that's a Miyoko class heavy cruiser. We have 2 Megami class heavy cruisers there, and they're no slouches. I mean, the Miyoko doesn't have as much armor as the Megami's. You can see that. Interestingly enough, the Miyoko has 0 tower armor, which is quite interesting. Is this your full-time job or your education/occupation? It is in fact not my full-time job. I wish it was. There are a lot of people that are really generous and do help support me to do this, which is really much appreciated. Like, it does make things significantly easier to allow things like this to happen. I'm currently doing a adult diploma at the moment, so just hoping that doing this diploma, finish that sometime. It's about 9 months long. I've only been on it 5 weeks, so it'll finish in about 9 months total. Then hopefully next year I'll be able to go on towards university, so that'd be nice. So that's the plan at the moment. There we go. How you doing, Verzo? Welcome, my dude. Yes, the MKB is going to be rearmed over here at Kopang. Speaking of Kopang, actually, and speaking of the AKEs, I'm glad that you reminded me there. Okay, so you can see the Kishino has 595. So what I'm going to do here then, auxiliaries. You've not missed too much, Verzo? Not too much. How you doing, Van AT? The other AT. The stronger AT, maybe. How you doing, dude? Nah, don't worry about Rambo. Like, for people that have been watching me for a long time, they know that I usually just, I don't know. People tell me about their lives, so I'll tell them about mine. It's one of these things, isn't it? Right. Okay. So, can I not load your tender? It's not going to be the option here. How many operation points do you actually have? Okay, so you've used all your operation points there. That's fine. So she's got about 595 tons of supply on board, which is okay. So in theory, we should be able to... We could probably rearm the actual carriers, which would be quite nice. These guys are not going to be docking, which is okay. So we shouldn't have any issues. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do here then is actually take the heavy cruisers. Have their Jakes run the night. Well, actually saying that, no, I don't need the, I don't need... Well, then again, it might be useful. But I'm going to say no, because these are rather more valuable. That's good to hear, my dude. Glad you're doing well. Well, that's one we're going to be touching on soon. That is like one of the interesting ones there. Takau's got quite a bit of damage there, actually. When did that happen? Has Takau always been that damaged? I don't feel like Takau was Takau that damaged? Or is it just a system damage? It probably is just a system damage from, well, it's system damage there, so I imagine that's probably come from the actual full speed maneuver. Like, some of these ships will need some time to repair, which is not too bad. We can actually factor that in with relative ease. But okay, what we're going to do here then, we'll go into the float planes. Right, we'll have the Pete's that run the night patrols run them 100%, make sure they're flying out there. Okay. We do have one in reserve over here. So, what I'm going to do then is have them run night. These guys can run the night patrols as well. There we go. It is presumable that during the actual day we'll have a G4M1s running the naval search, so there's no problem there. Okay. So these guys are going to be linking up together then, which is good news. So let's take a look here then. Float planes. So we've got these guys here. Have them run 100% there. But they're running at, yeah, low altitude. That might not have helped us. Okay. Right, there we go. Would THG fall for a trap where you use Zuikaku planes on Shoho? It's an interesting thing to consider there, really, isn't it? It is an interesting one. I think it's one of those of... I don't really want Shoho to be detected in any regards, really. I mean, it's something to consider, maybe in the future. There are things like that in the future that we could consider doing. So I'm not going to rule it out. Okay. Right, so they're going to link up there, then they're going to be heading back to Kopang. So we'll have 5 destroyers linking up with us then from Kopang, which is good news. The ships that are here, we just got some patrol boats. Remain on station there. These guys are unloading their cargo, which is good news here. So we have aboard here another 5,238 tons of supply, which is excellent. These guys are set to rest and train, which is good news. Okay. Now, this would be a nice base to take. As would that be? No, it's a good example. It is a good example. It's a good idea, really, and it is something that we'll be looking at doing in the near future, actually. I do need a naval guard unit or some element of a naval guard unit here to, like, garrison the base. I think what we will be doing then, I mean, let's take a look at the actual terrain of Java. So this is jungles. I mean, you'd think this was actually a port, but it's not, unfortunately. So this is more than likely going to be our point of entry to the island. Yeah, that's another airbase. There's not that many ports, really, to Java. Well, sorry, there's not many coastal ports. And that's probably the best one we could go for there, really. Or even over here at Samarang. Well, the thing is with Surabaya is the fact that it does have a lot of troops here already. And we can assume that it is going to be well defended, I suppose you could say. But I think what we might do then is have them begin to plan for Samarang in the future. I mean, this is not too bad. We have a level 5 port. I mean, that's a huge port, to be honest. The thing is, if we were to take that port, it would really expedite our unloading. Just hugely, really. It would honestly be really, really nice. We'd be able to unload pretty damn quickly and just really move a lot of forces. Very nice. Okay. We're not going to begin to prepare yet, because we'll have to decide where we're going to be landing in the future. So we'll turn that... Well, we'll not do that for the time being. So we landed over here then with the elements of the 82nd Naval Guard. So a good few hundred troops there. So we're looking at what? 15 assault value there. 15 assault value here as well. Now, if we take a look over here then, so these are secondary roads. There is a major road here between the coast and Watapone? I think that's the name. I don't know how you pronounce that. Though, let's take a look over here then. I mean, these units are a bit of a pain in the arse. You can see that this is the actual secondary road, so we don't move slowly, we move at 15 miles per day. So it's one of these things, it's like each, I think each hex is like 40, it's either 45 or it's 46. I think it's 45, or it's something like that. I can't remember exactly how big the actual land hexes are. I think it's not, it might be 40. Each hex might be 40 miles. I think it's about 40 miles, actually. So it takes about 3 days, really, to move a hex on a secondary road. So 15, obviously 30, and then you're like moving If it's indeed 40, then you move into the next hex with 5 miles remaining. Good news is our tankers are undetected over here, which is excellent, excellent, excellent news. Really, really nice there. I might actually move some fuel into Namla, the reason being that it would be nice to use it to refuel our BBs. Could be very good, actually. And it might not be a bad idea to have the source of fuel elsewhere around the Dutch East Indies, so at least we're not... well, we are going to be running into submarines around the area, aren't we? I think that might be worthwhile. Hey dude, my brass monkey, welcome my dude, good to have you. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is, these guys are going to remain in position, I'm going to have them sent to rest and training. I could have them set out to actually meet this force here. Yeah, never enough fuel indeed. Though saying that, it might be worthwhile to actually have. So we've got these ships over here, how are they doing on the fuel front? Okay, so you're unloading the 82nd Naval Guard over here then. Excellent. Okay, that's really good. Now, it's clear terrain here. But it does mean, let's see. I could potentially have the 82nd Naval Guard converge on this position over here. I think they would count as being surrounded, actually. If we take a look at the actual hex sides. So there's only this hex side over here, but there's no allied base, so he's kind of buggered. Yeah, there's definitely no allied base. Right, you're moving in a little bit of supply, it seems, but they're heading to Makassar. But what I'm going to do then is actually have these guys head back to Kandari, pick up more elements of the 82nd. Okay. Okakazi. Right. So, you were potentially torpedoed last time, but it seems like she can't lay the mines as we would have hoped for, so it doesn't particularly matter. Numakazi. Right, dock up then. Okay, so we'll load the elements of the 82nd Naval Guard. Then obviously they can move into Makassar. It might just be worth it actually using this force, to be honest. Now, these guys are actually tasked with taking Denpasar, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's, in fact, it's going to be the 4th B detachment that's going to be taking Denpasar. The reason being we can actually approach here from the south, which is good news. So we'll have them begin to actually prepare for that. So let's see, these guys, this detachment of the division, the C detachment, they're planning for Balapapan, so these guys can actually plan for maybe Samarinda. It could even be worthwhile to have them begin planning for the invasion over here, actually. Okay, Zope, that's a timeout, my dude. Not gonna lie, that was a little bit distracting, but okay. Hopefully no more of that. Right, okay. Moving on up. Yeah, so I'm gonna operate, like, timeouts. Obviously, like, 3 timeouts, that is gonna be like a band bear. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna put me off there. Right, okay, moving on, moving on. Okay, then, so we see here, then. So these guys are planning for Denpasar. I think what I could do, then, I suppose it's one of these. They're planning for Denpasar, but obviously we're not going to have them for Denpasar. Probably better off not repeating it. I suppose if you see the video, you'll probably see it. If I wasn't lazy, I'd probably go out and, like, blur it. But I can't be asked. Okay. So I'm going to have these guys actually prepare for something. I think that makes sense then. Have them prepare for the actual invasions. It shouldn't be too bad over here at Balapapan and Samarinda due to the fact that these are clear terrain, so that's not too bad. We have somebody planned for Balapapan, so obviously all they'd have to do is cross, and they're going up against a very small unit. I think I'm going to get this going soon. I think we need to get this going very, very soon. Okay. I mean, I should have just continued with it last time, but that's fine. We'll have these guys move out then and deal with that unit over there. Finish them off, and then they'll be well and truly done. I could have these guys continue to march up the actual coast over here. I mean, if we take a look at the actual roads, it is secondary roads. I think it might be worthwhile having them actually move on up. I suppose it's one of those of where we're not having to use ships to move them. So it might be worthwhile. I mean, what we can do then, if this unit begins to move, we can have the SLF stay where they are. Or at least the 82nd Air Guard stay where they are. No. I guess we'll have these guys march over here to Palapone. Though saying that, is it worth doing that? It might be worthwhile. I think, actually no, I think what we'll do then is we'll stay as we are. Because I think we'll just stay as we are here. The reason being I can rest them. Then obviously I do not want to allow him to escape here or to take one of these bases. I don't think he really could, to be honest. I don't think he'd be able to move soon. Move quick enough for us to not be able to react there. But I think we'll just move these guys via APD. And in fact, what I'm going to do here then... I mean, this would be a very, very safe move. But I don't think that really does very much for me. We know that's garrisoned by the enemy. I mean, this is the thing. He could be using Kalak to obviously run aircraft from. That one could be potentially explaining the PBYs in the area. I mean, it depends really. Does he actually have aviation support there? Or is he actually bothered about having the aviation support? Does make one wonder. But I think what we'll do here then is we need to take these islands. I think some of these islands are ungarrisoned. I would be supremely surprised if they weren't. If we take a look at that, the garrison size there is very small. I could potentially even use a naval guard unit there. That does make me wonder. Okay, well, what we're going to do then, yeah, they're going to head back to Kendari then. We do have a fast transport force over here, actually. I mean, this is a lot of heavy... Well, it's a heavy cruiser and a good number of light cruisers. So... Okay. These guys are going to bombard, then they're going to head back to Kopang. That's fine. Okay. Then we're a little bit low on fuel there. So I think what I'm going to do then is have these guys head to Namla. So head for Namla. They can begin to unload there. Right, low threat threshold. There we go. These guys going to head over here, that's fine. Ambon. Well, I mean, this is it. Ooh, did he bombard at Ambon last turn? Let's double check on that one, actually. I don't think he did, actually. Right, we'll start down here. I think that's in... Oh, that's one of those little islands. Yeah. He didn't lose that many casualties here, but it is going to be one of those things of where it's like, okay, I can't just shock attack against a unit now and expect things to work out, because we took 0 casualties there. Okay. Singkawang, we did take the base, I do believe, which was awesome. At Singapore, did he bombard at Ambon? I don't know if he actually did. That's Nanning over there. I mean, Nanning's going to be a little bit dicey. No, so I don't know. I don't think he actually did. No, that's good news then. So if I take a look at the situation over here, we can see we have 323 tons of supply in Hex. Ah, thank you very much, man, for the follow, my dude. Atkinson Chris. Very much appreciated. There we go, I finally got that thing working again. So that's cool. We've not gone over the CVs as of yet. We will be going over that one soon. To be fair, we've actually got a decent amount of AV over here in Ambon. Like, I've got 97 assault value over here, which is not insignificant. We are going to be bombarding Ambon in the actual night here with the Fuso and Yamashiro, which is good news. Okay. I am tempted to have the Hayate actually go and escort the Fuso. But I don't think it's really required too much. Famous last words, right? So I think what we're going to do here then, it would be nice to actually get one of these forces moving out. So I'm going to have them tasked with heading to Kendari actually. This unit's now operational, which is good news. What I could do is actually have some sort of float plane moved over there. In fact, if I could get the F1 M2 pizza over there, I'd be really happy. How far can they go? It could go to Manadao. No, not too much. Not too much. Right, I'm going to have these guys transferred to Manadao. Or Manadu. However the hell it says. Okay. So they're going to stand down for this moment here. So they should be able to make it to Namila. Maybe. No, actually no. I think it was 9 hexes they had max transference range. So they might be able to make it to Namila next turn. But what I'll do then is I'll have them actually just run reconnaissance over Ambon. And that'll be really good for us. It'll help to improve our accuracy, I do believe. Or at least it'll give us a, well, it'll give us a higher detection level. So that will help us out there. Okay. These guys are heading out over here, which is good news. I might go ahead and take some of these islands. I don't think they're garrisoned. I find it unlikely that they're garrisoned. It is something worthwhile considering. Good news, we can dock here, so we can get these troops loaded on up. So load up. There we go. I'm going to have you then head over here. We have a port over here. We have a port here as well. Port here as well. Okay. So I'm not seeing any airfields. But I think what we'll do then is we'll head for this and just work our way across. Okay, you're going to set the home port there to... Well, set it to Namina, I suppose, for the time being. At least there will be some fuel there. So what I'm going to do then is, I think we'll have these guys head over here to Maul, actually. If they're ungarrisoned, that'd be really good. I'll run some reconnaissance over here in the area. By the way, whatever you do, do not hit him. Oh, hint to him. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's very true there. How you doing there, Helen Strats? I want to pick up this game, but can't see paying $80 for a 9-year-old game. See, the thing is there, Helen, it's one of these things. You've got to think, well, sorry, no, Helson. Sorry, I thought it was Helen. That's my bad. Yeah, you've got to look at it like this way. Now, the game we started here began on the 9th... No, sorry, the 7th of December 1941, and that began in September of last year. Now, I'm not saying every game will last as long as ours will. Obviously, we're doing a turn or two every week. But just look at the amount. Just look at how long the playlist is. It's a good. I think it's nearly 200 hours at this moment in time. But what I'd say to you is, if you don't want to pay the $80, you do not have to. There is going to be a sale more than likely come Christmas and New Year. There's usually sales. There was one last year where the game went down to like £20 odd. So, it'll come cheap. It'll be like one quarter price or something soon enough, so that's fine. Yeah, only 7 years, yeah, something like that. Oh dear. Okay, so we're going to bombard that Arbor, which is going to be good news. It would have been nice to have the AKE over here at Namno. Could have done it in basically night, but that's fine. Right, so they're moving out there. I still have some K-27s over here, actually. I'd make a hell of a present, them. Well, I mean, this is it. There's a few people out there. I've been trying to get Benjamin Magnus Gaming. I think his channel's called Benjamin Magnus Gaming. I've been trying to get Benjamin Magnus to play it. Maybe one day he'll play it. Maybe one day. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is potentially transfer these guys over here to Kopang. Might be worthwhile to have some additional support there. We do have 66 out of 72 there, so that's pretty good. Though I might move them over here to Makassar. Well, to Makassar, actually. Yeah, I know, right? Ooh, yeah, we require a lot more aviation support over here, actually, so maybe not over here. Though I could actually turn that down considerably. Oh, we already have some over here then, okay. Yeah, worthwhile doing. I'd actually go ahead and email Matrix. They might be able to do something there. It's one of those things, it's always worth asking. Well, we should be seeing War of the East 2 next year. So that'd be really good. I think it'll be coming out next year, actually. Looking forward to that. Okay. He's got about 24 fighters over here, then. Right. These guys over here, then, so they're running 50-50. Give them that actual range would help. I could give them the drop tanks. Might be worthwhile doing that. We'll drop it down to 6 hexes range, though. I'm actually tempted here, then. I think what we're going to do, then, is... So if we take a look over here at Makassar, so we do have... Right, so 16 aviation support. What I'm thinking is we potentially move the actual Ki-43-1Cs over here to Kendari. Move the actual Ki-27s over here to Makassar, because for the time being, just use them to actually run combat patrol. Okay, so that's a ban, my dude. Yeah, that's annoying. That'd be like the first person I've had to ban there. That's really annoying. See you later, Rambarol. Have a good one, my dude. Yeah, before hell freezes over. Oh, dear. I mean, yeah, what I'm thinking here, then, is what we could do is have the Ki-27s transferred over here to Kendari. Yeah, sorry, no, the Ki-43 is transferred over here to Kendari. Reduce the amount of aviation support required over here to Makassar. Then I could have the Ki-43s run the escort in this area until we're actually ready to move into this area. I'm going to be using them to escort our task forces as we move there. Though there's another option, I could potentially move them to Kopang. It might be worthwhile. It does make me wonder though, what does he have here? See, he does have an airfield over here at Darwin that could in theory reach Kopang. It depends really. He could move aircraft to this area, so it might be worthwhile. At least he could look at striking at Kopang, so it might be worthwhile to potentially look to ensure security. Then it might be worthwhile actually having a larger amount of combat air patrol. Well, yeah, just fighters available to potentially escort our bombers there, really. That might be worthwhile doing. Though saying that, I might keep them at Makassar. I could have the Ki-27 stood down, but I think they already are. Yeah, they already are. It's not that bad, is it? I suppose, so that's okay. How long until they're actually ready? They're nearly ready. I'm somewhat tempted to potentially begin sweeping the airfields over here, but not too confident in the numbers there. I think what we'll do then... Yeah, I'll keep it at 20. Actually, we'll have it at 30% there. If they're not flying, they'll be resting anyway, so that's no issue. So we'll just have them do that for the time being there. That works for me. So I can have a maximum of 36 in the squadron, but I could actually have some reserves in here as well, actually. What would the possible upgrades be for that Ki-27 squadron and Ki-44s? Well, probably Ki-43s, really, or 44s. It does depend, really. Like, I'd love to have one of every aircraft. We do have a fair number of Ki-43s now, which is good news. Hopefully be able to make a good go at using them, really. But yeah, we'll just look to whatever aircraft is really usable, or the most useful, really. I mean, Ki-44s are really going to be more... they're going to be more so dealing with enemy bombers. But again, it's mostly due down to their actual range, really. But they are a superior aircraft to the Ki-43, that's for damn sure. But okay, we'll stick with that one for the time being. Now, I love the fact that I spent nearly an hour just talking about this area here, but it is important to do this. We do have to avoid the submarine, but I'm fairly confident about the amount of escort here. There's a part of me that wonders, is it worthwhile heading further out here, but I'm not too enthusiastic about that one due to the fact that we do have a small amount of fuel here. I'd rather not take chances with the fuel here. We do have our submarines continuing to move south, which is good news. So that's fine. I think we do run a good chance over here. We're going to have these guys heading back to Kopang, and they're going to be met by another 5 destroyers. So they're going to be looking at a force which is made up of like 3 heavy cruisers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 destroyers. Another 5 destroyers there. That's a strong force, you know. That's a strong force. It's going to be well enough able to handle itself. There is a part of me that wonders, is it potentially worthwhile moving the torpedo bombers to Kopang? It could be worthwhile doing, actually. But then saying that they may not potentially fly due to the operation points, but it does obviously cost them to move. So it's a case of maybe, maybe not. But I think we'll keep them on the carriers for the time being. Okay. I think that's looking good there, so I think this is what we're going to be doing in this area. Now, of course, we do have the base over here at Singkawang at last, which is fantastic. Now, the thing is, I do not have any Ki-43s here, well, available to move here as of yet. Not quite yet. I'm also considering potentially hitting his airfields over here, but that's a... Actually, does he actually have some aircraft here? He's actually got some fighters over here, which is really interesting. So we know he's got some aircraft over here at Jambo. We know he's got aircraft over here at Palembang. It might be worthwhile actually hitting the airfields at Palembang. But hitting the airfields at Palembang is a different matter, really, due to the actual range. Like, we do have the Tojos. It might be worthwhile using the Tojos to sweep Palembang. I think that's what we're going to do with the Tojos. Have them sweep Palembang, potentially. Right, let's take a look at the range. I mean, it is max range. But there's no point sweeping if we don't do anything about it. I do have the naval bombers that could hit the airfields, but it's one of those of is it really worthwhile? No. That fatigue is really built up there. How the actual aircraft looking? So the fatigue on the aircraft ain't too bad. And the fatigue on the pilots, I suppose it's getting up there, but it's not too bad. You can see that we actually did gain some experience over here, which is really quite nice there. I think we'll try 30,000 feet this time. But actually saying that, we'll go ahead and check out the combat report. So, 20,000. So it looks like it's actually flying entirely 20,000 feet at this moment in time. So that's good to know there. I think we'll go slightly higher. It's still within our rules. We did make an amendment to the house rules. Basically, well, I'll show you guys here, and it's not confusing. But how we're working things is, for example, so you see the altitude and maneuver modifier. So what we've said here is you can go for the maximum maneuverability, well, basically these ones here, and then one band above. So that one's good there. So I could go from 16 to 20, well, basically from 10,000 below up to a maximum of 31,000 feet if I wish to. It's one of these of where it keeps things within a system, but it's one of those of where we still have the flexibility. Like if we were forced to fly, there's a house rule where you fly the most maneuverability, but then it's going to kind of be like a turkey shoot all the time. Like, obviously, it'll be a turkey shoot in the initial part of the war, but then it'll be a turkey shoot later on in the war as well for him. So it's one of those where it kind of gives us some leeway either way there, really. So I think we'll try 30,000 feet, I suppose. I might even go for less. And I could go for 20,000 feet. That's where we do have the most maneuverability there. It is, he might go for more altitude, but I think we'll try 20,000 feet. We do have more maneuverability than potentially more survivability. It does make me wonder, is it worthwhile actually resting here for the time being? And it might be worthwhile actually resting, perhaps. So how much air power do you expect in Rangoon? Well, as you can see over here, we do see 30 fighters, 31 bombers, 7 auxiliary aircraft, supposedly. We definitely do outnumber him in terms of air power. And this is why I'm thinking we actually send some camouflage 3 south, actually, even potentially the Zeros south. But I think the Zeros are going to be really required. I think what we'll do then is we'll keep the Zeros here then, yeah. So what we're going to do then is we're going to keep the Zeros over here at Bangkok. But I think what we're going to do then is we're going to look to burn off some of this actual fatigue. I could fly out the first Sentai on a sweep, but I think what we need to do here then is... Well, then again, I mean, 12... Right. I think we're going to stand down with the air power this turn, but even then saying that... We know he's got bombers here then. He's not likely to attack here again. At least I would be quite shocked if he would do that. It does make me wonder if we were to attack this unit, but I don't think it'd be worthwhile doing that, because obviously the train's going to work against us. I don't think it's worth that. I may just sweep him again. I think we'll sweep him again. I know we are running a little bit hot there on the fatigue, but it's not too bad actually. So I think we'll try at 25,000 feet again. The good news is it's well within our operational range. I mean, I think it's only about 9 hexes. Obviously, we do have a theoretical range of 14 hexes, so it's well within our range here. It's actually within our normal range as well, I do believe. Normal range being 11, so it is well within our range. Now, let's see. Is it within the actual normal range minus the drop tanks? No, it becomes the standard range. So yeah, we'll go with the drop tanks there. It could actually help us with the actual coordination, actually. Okay. I'll just leave 10% of the actual fighters over here just to interrupt any raid. Okay. Wow, 2,000 horsepower would be nice. We're going for the K44A version, actually. Okay, I guess we'll go for this again. I think I'm going to decrease the amount of bombers actually sent there to hit him. I think 20% is fine. It's one of those of where we lost a few bombers last time, so obviously I'd like to reduce the amount of bombers we do lose. It would be nice to rest these aircraft, but we'll carry on for the time being. But what I'm going to do then is, it's either the 59th Sentai or the 14th Sentai. 59th does have some fatigue there. But it is fully able to move out. This one is as well, actually. I think we'll go for this one. It's a small squadron, actually. But what I'm going to do here, then, so they're using their drop tanks, is let's take a look. Can I transfer them to Sinkwang? Yes, we can. So I'm going to transfer the 59 Sentai to Sinkwang. Now, the beauty about this is it really does give us a considerably larger amount of options. So if we take a look here now, from the range, yeah, so from Sinkwang to Palembang's 9 hexes, we have range over Osthaven, which is fantastic. So I think what we're going to do here then, as to whether or not they'll actually fly this turn's unknown. I would have to send them a target. But what we could, to be honest, what we might do is actually have these guys sweep, I could set the actual naval bombers to hit Palembang. Or we could actually have them escort over Singapore, actually. It might be better to actually sweep Singapore with them. I think we'll have them sweep Singapore for the time being. So what I'm going to do then is set a... it's not too bad, actually, so I think we'll go with it as is then. So let's see, their maneuverability. I mean, their maneuverability is really, really quite good, actually. Like, even at this sort of altitude, it's really very good. Like, they do have the 12mm Ho 103 MGs. They're not terrible, you know. They're not bad. They're not bad. Try, we'll go for about 20,000 feet, then. So yeah, we'll have them sweep Singapore, then. But this is going to be great. Like, the thing is, I need to deal with these fighters over here. And the thing is, if I relent... we're not going to be in a great position, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and just basically deal with him here. So... I might go for the 20,000 feet. Let's go for the 20,000 feet, man. I don't need the drop tanks, man. Wow, look at that. 37 of you guys watching now. That's really awesome. Can I get a Tenno Heika Banzai from everybody, please? Okay, so we'll have these guys sweep Singapore as well, then. It is presumable they should arrive, but it's one of these I tends to not happen. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's one of these with the P-39s. The P-39 is... it kind of sucks at altitude. Which is probably why it doesn't do that well, even against the Ki-27s. I love the Banzais. Yeah, so if we take a look over here, then, wow, 38 of you guys. That's awesome. Yeah, the bloody rivers are singers. Okay, so we'll take a look at the P-39. Let's find that biatch. It's a nice aircraft. It's really good at what it actually, well, what it's meant to be doing. Not familiar. I think it's the P-39D that we're going up against. But anyway, we'll take a look at the Aero Cobra. I mean, God knows who put a 37mm cannon on an aircraft like that. Crazy. Yes, you can see its maneuverability is terrible. So if we take a look at the altitude it was flying. And we should rip it to pieces at altitude. Should rip it to pieces. How you doing there, OCB84? How you doing, my dude? How's it going? I saw your replay. Are you happy with how that turn went? Well, I mean, it would have been better had we had the G-Force fly out. But it seems like the bad weather was to play there. So it is what it is. But, okay, that's suggestive for altitudes, but it's not too bad. But overall, yeah, fairly happy with the actual result there. I mean, it's interesting, we do have a pretty likely report of where the enemy USNCV carriers are, what the enemy carriers are. So that's really good news. And we will be going on to that one soon enough. I'm just building up to it now, just trying to get the other things done before we, like, spend 2 hours talking about what to do with the carriers. But yeah, we'll get there shortly. Okay, so that's into the land attacks. Where's the, Singapore? It's Rangoon, okay. I don't think it's really taken us seriously at Rangoon. Yeah, well, that dive advantage is really good, but the fact is, if something, if he's like, well, once I find what actual altitude is flying, that'd be good to know. Rangoon, Tan, Winkau, Singapore, there we go. So, yeah, wow. He's flying 26,000 feet. So his his maneuverability is just, it's just crap. He's really relying on that diving. Yeah, so that's his altitude. What was it, 29,000 feet or something? 28,000 feet? But yeah, his maneuverability is awful. So what we'll do then is we'll counter that then. Like, you look at that, we have better altitude. Well, so we have better maneuverability at altitude. Thank you very much there for the follow there, Luxa. Much appreciate, my dude. Thank you very much. Okay. I mean, look at the altitude difference. The maneuverability difference there. It is pretty insane. So we'll try that then. Ideally give him a bloody nose there. See, once we do deal with the enemy fighters... Oh, that's really awesome, dude. I'm really happy about that. I don't know why, but appreciate it. Thank you very much for that W3AF. Much appreciated. How you doing there, Infinite? Good to have you on board, my dude. Well, we don't need to go that high, but I mean, if he's running at 29,000 feet, I mean, we don't even need to go that high. His maneuverability is very low. But we'll... I don't think we need to go that high. And I don't think it's going to hurt much. At least the care for the freeze here now, it's in Kawangan, it's going to be really good. I would like to deal with the actual fighter problem. I mean, what I could potentially do here... See, the good news is I can actually base... Yeah, so we can take this KI-21 2A Salis over here, and I can actually have them base over here at Kuantan now. At least a good number of them base over here at Kuantan now. As the airfield is pretty much just... Yeah, well, the actual runway is completely repaired. There's only a little bit of damage here. As you can see, we do have decent bit of aviation support, so that's good news. So what we're going to do here then is begin to move out some of these KI-21s then. The only issue is obviously the lack of rail line. That's the only issue. But we should be alright with that. We'll just fly them over there once they've repaired anyway. But it will make it easier for us actually to coordinate in theory. Then obviously the operational losses should be in theory lower as well. It might be worthwhile to have the Ki-21 stood down actually. I think what we'll do then is we'll actually stand the Ki-21s down. We'll stand all the bombers, barring some bombers over here at Johor Bahru down this turn, I reckon. The reason being we want to try and smoke him out. You can see this is going to be quite a large squadron. I might keep this one in place then actually. So what we'll do then is all Ki-21s are going to be set to rest. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. Gives our guys here some time to rest. Which they don't particularly need it. But I want to try and smoke out his actual forces, really. I mean, the P-39s is not something I do like to see. Right, make sure these guys are stood down. It might then actually be worthwhile to run the raid against Palembang, actually. Because I could then use the care for the freeze. We'd have... No, it's likely he will probably try and long-range combat air patrol Singapore again. And he is basing some aircraft over here at Singapore, which is interesting. Make sure these guys are all set. Yeah, there we go. I mean, these guys are still going to be running the escort there. Right, there we go. Right, yeah. So I could potentially use then is just these guys. Or even potentially another squadron, even the small squadron actually wouldn't be too bad. Like, these Ki-32 Mares ain't bad. They would be nice to have a few more bombs, actually. No, that's fine, then. Okay, you actually do have... that's actually pretty quick. Might be even too quick, actually, but I think we'll go with the Ki-32s, actually. So the Ki-32s can continue as they are. These guys can be stood down. It could be worthwhile then to run the raid against Palembang, but I think we'll do that next turn then. I really want to get into a position where I can actually defeat his air power here. In theory, what I might be able to do then is actually have bombers fly out here from Malaya to hit Palembang. Oh, that would be nice. Well, if you take a look at that. So let's take a look. So the Ki-30 here then. So you can see that this bad boy has a bit of a speed advantage. You can see here the cruise speed is 256 miles per hour. This is 186 miles per hour. So it looks like... yeah, the surge rating is a little bit higher on this aircraft as well. Whereas this aircraft has a lower surge rating. So this is an external. Ah, right, okay. So reduced load is external. This is an internal. Whereas this is internal both. Though this... I think this is a closer air support aircraft. Not entirely familiar with the aircraft here. Okay. We don't really talk about the turns per se, really. We'll like tease each other every now and then, but nothing too serious, really. Okay. Now there's a part of me that is wondering about potentially having a fast transport down here. What are the actual roads like down there? So they're secondary roads then, so we'll be making 15 mile per hour progress. Well, sorry, 15 mile per day progress. Which ain't too bad, actually. I mean, this is only a few miles away. I think what I'll go and do then is set out the regiment to go deal with them. No, I mean, this is it. Well, we do have a fair bit of fatigue then, actually. I think what we'll do then is we'll rest and burn some of that fatigue while we do have the opportunity to do so. I do have these guys over here, but these guys are just support. It would be nice to get the rest of their units over here. But over here in Marine. Okay. Can you send a group to the south too? As in aircraft? Oh, as in land forces. Ah, right, yeah. Now I get what you mean. I'm tempted to move out the Kunikawa Maru. I mean, there's a lot more aviation support here than required. I think that's why I sent in the actual submarine chaser, to be fair. Well, to be honest, what I'm going to probably do then is actually have some of these forces. I'd like to get some reconnaissance over here to see if this base is actually... I mean, I'd like to see what's going on these bases, really. That might be worthwhile doing. But what I'm going to do here then is support... Right. Have them based over there at Sinkwang. And return to Sinkwang. Auto disband when you do arrive. So that will give us an increased amount of aviation support over there, which is going to be quite good. You can actually operate aircraft, which is fantastic. Okay. Right, so what I'm going to do here then. So reconnaissance, we do have a few aircraft. Right, so they're Makasa. Ah. I don't think that one could move at all, actually. I'd probably have to have that upgraded. I gotta take. Okay, so we'll have them upgraded there. At least I can actually make use of them. I'll have to finish off upgrading the rest of the squadron, but that's okay. So that's actually free, so I'll put one in here then. I'm in reconnaissance of a sink cap. I don't even know where sink cap is. Where's sink cap? That's that base, okay. Well, the good news is we know what's actually there now. So we do have a level 1 airfield there. We do, sorry, level 3 port and level 1 airfield. That's just a level 1 port. And this would be a another important base there, really. Yeah, summer 2020. Oh god, if we're lucky. Right, so they're going to be run escort. These guys are run sweep. So ideally we deal with the P-39s. We're still going to be hitting the airfield here at Singapore. We're still going to be hitting the airfield over here at Rangoon with reduced number of bombers, but should still be good there. And then I think what we'll do is probably look to rest, perhaps. I did want to actually, I mean, it's one of these things. We did have 3 squadrons over here, so at least we did have them for the actual battle that did take place. But I do want to make sure we can make use of Sinkwanga as quickly as possible, really. Okay. So, I think we still have some forces of the Yokosuka. Right, yeah, we still have a Yokosuka 3rd SLF. They're still over here at the moment in time. They are being flown over to Saigon, which should actually be finished this turn, actually. Yeah, there's only about 204 men over here, so that's not going to take too long. You can see that we do have the elements of the Yokosuka over here moving on over, which is good news. And they've got quite a distance to travel there. But they're moving on now, which is good. Okay. I'll wait till the other one's ready. Well, actually, no, I'll move this guy out now. There we go. Okay. Right, the 21st Division is going to be arriving tomorrow, actually. It's a shame there's no rail line here at Kwantan. That would have been quite nice. I think what I'm going to do here, then... Let's see. Kwantan actually does have a decent amount of fuel, which is really good. But what I'm going to be doing then is we're finally going to deal with this situation over here at Busuanga. So what I'm going to do then is set our destination over here to Busuanga. But what I'm going to do then is set a task force routing, so waypoint to Kwantan. Right. Refuel at Kwantan. I could go for like a tactical refuel, but that'll be fine there. So we'll have them head into Kwantan refuel. We're going to then have them sent over here to Busuanga. So that's going to be good news then. We'll finally stop, we'll finally put an end to the actual gunboat over there. Ferrying supply over, it seems. He's been moving other ships as well, so we'll put an end to that. That should be quite nice. It means I can actually move out of a squadron elsewhere to where they should really be. But it's not a bad idea. I mean, it's one of these things. We're going to make sure that we're strong on this sort of stuff, really. So we'll get that going then. So that's good news. I do have some APDs. Do I have APDs? Okay, I must be imagining it. They were around here somewhere. Remove them out. I still have a light cruiser over here, do I? Do I? Oh, I do. Tama. Okay, as you do. Actually, let's take a look at this, because we could use these guys for fast transports, actually. Right, let's see. Fast transport. Yeah, they can all do it. Sweet. Okay, well, what I'm going to do then is actually put these guys together then. We'll have them sent as a... They can't do ASW, but we'll have them sent as a service task force. But what I'll do then is I'll have them sent over here to Sinkwang. What I could then potentially do with them is use them to ferry some additional troops of the regiment down here to Putinak to actually take control of the base there, which would be really good. So we'll have them head down that way. Low threat threshold. There's no fuel there, but we could always bring over fuel from Marie or head over to Marie, so that's no problem. Right, you're moving supply in. I'm going to have that supplier to move to Sinkwang. Okay. Right, they're unloading now. I'm going to tell them to cancel on their unloading. I'm going to have them go and unload over here at Singora instead. Free up the actual port capacity. Well, what's the actual... Right, there's a decent amount of supplies there, so that's fine. So they can head over there to the north. It frees up space in the actual port. Right, okay, yeah, you can see these guys are unloading the 20th Independent, which is good news. That actually gives us additional moving capacity should we need it, sorry. Right, shipping engineers. Okay. Righto. Too large dock. What I'm going to do here then, so transport. I could go for amphibious, but I don't. I think we'll go for the amphibious then. Right, these guys do move at 15 knots. But I think I'm going to make use of the actual tow hose here, actually. What do we have here? These are the lemurs. I'd like to actually have the lemur sent back to Japan, actually. How you doing there, Chillabert? Good to have you, my dude. I am going to need additional capacity to take tanks, though. So I guess we'll take these guys. I could have them sent back to Japan, actually. I was looking for, like, some decent speed, really. Okay. That's saying that. Do I really need to destroy Minesweeper to do that when I have 2 long-range patrol boats? Okay. Yeah, but not that large. Yeah, we can handle that. Well, what we can do here actually is really quite good. So what I can do then is have these ships actually carry the tanks. We'll have them spread out. I don't need that many ships to actually carry them. But what I'm thinking here then is actually... we can actually have our ships converted over at Hong Kong. So I could actually have the lemurs converted over at Hong Kong to AKEs, which would be quite nice. That would be actually... that'd be excellent, actually. Okay, so we'll do that. Load troops only. Verified load. Right, there we go. It is a gamble here, really, because it is a gamble in terms of are they going to arrive in China in time to be of any use? Would it be better to potentially have them being used at Singapore? And it's one of these of where I could be wrong in having them sent out to China. But I'm willing to take a bit of a gamble here, really. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong, but I think it might be potentially worthwhile. I don't see him altering the status quo, at least not yet, not until we force him. He seems fairly confident about remaining at Changsha, so I'm going to hopefully use that to punish him, really. If I could get additional tanks into China, that would be absolutely fantastic, to be honest. Okay. So we'll have the tanks move into actual China then, which would be quite nice. Now, if we do take a look then, we do have a number of other amphibious task forces. So those guys are unloading the actual engineers there. So what I'll do is dock them. I could take out the actual DS, sort of the W16. Right. These guys really aren't doing anything at the moment. So I think what I'm going to do then... So I do have the 3rd Air Division over here. Right. There's a few units over there that would be kind of handy to move around. I'm going to have them actually head over here to Kompang, track them to go pick up those actual forces there. Pick up the actual air division, have it shifted over. Well, I'll have one unit actually do that. Yeah. Right, we'll do that then. Okay, what else do we have here? So they're heading Canton, which is good news. What speed are they going to make? So obviously their speed here, well, it's irrelevant at the moment. Obviously once we have them loaded up and ready to go, we'll know about that. There's going to be a delay on that one. Right. Now these are really quite handy. These are very high speed, which is excellent. So... I mean, that is a fantastic ship there. It does make me wonder what we can do with these guys, but I think I'm going to have them sent out to Bataan Island. The reason being I can go ahead and pick up the actual SLF over there. Well, I mean, this is it. I don't have any escorts that are actually of sufficient speed, really. I could look for an actual... Is it worthwhile? Actually, no, saying that, we do have some destroyers over here, actually. Okay, that's fine. Right, what we'll do then... Drop the W... Drop that biatch. Audrey destroy to accompany them. Let's actually take a look there. Oh wow, yeah, they have a hell of a cruise speed, actually. Take a destroyer over here, then. Are they, okay, so it seems like they actually don't have depth charges. That's fine, though. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, really, isn't it? I got a PM. Well, all I can say is he knows what he did. Right, there we go. Task Force 293. Right, that's excellent. And merge. You are low on fuel, but that should be okay. Okay, that's good news then. So going to be moving into Kota Baru, which is excellent. Okay. So we'll be able to get the 21st Division down to Singapore in, I don't know, we'll say about a week probably. Maybe even a little bit more than that. We'll be able to get them down there soon enough, which will be good news. I mean, once we do have that additional division, it will be very handy. We are going to be moving over additional forces as well, so it should be quite good. I mean, Singapore was bloody, but it wasn't as bloody as I expected, which is quite good. Okay. Yep, so I think that covers the operations in this area here. You can see that the supplies issues have been solved. I mean, that was actually Infinite that pointed out that I had set Johor Bahru to yes over here on supplies. It was basically sucking up all the supply in the area. So you can see these guys are now supplied, which is fine, which is good news. Happy about that one. Right, our progress over here is 23 out of 46, so it's going to take some time for them to arrive. But the good news is once we do take this base, it gives us another one over here. I'm going to be tempted in the future, actually, to be sending out naval bombers. Soon we'll be able to do that. It does make me wonder, is it worthwhile taking the base of Monmine? He does have a rail line out there, so it's one of those of he could move there before we could. What's the terrain like in the area? So it's jungles. It might be worthwhile doing. If we can get in there, it'd be quite handy, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Now at Nanning, it's not exactly fantastic, but I think what we're gonna do here then is, well, if we take a look. Right, jungles over there towards Hanoi. I think we'll look to cross the river, but obviously cross it in combat mode. He's probably going to attack us. Actually, no, looking at the actual... thing is, if I go here, yeah, this is the actual roadway. If I go here, it's clear terrain. Let's see. Right, so I do own this road here. I could move here, force them to attack. Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. Yeah. I'm not too bothered if these guys are destroyed anyway. It's one of those of, they're doing a good job by just being targets. I guess we'll stay where we are, really. Just stay on defensive mode. Let them attack us, really. I don't think there's much else we can do there. So yeah, that's fine then, just leave them there. If they get attacked, well, they're going to get attacked, but it is what it is. They're not too bad, really. And obviously they did take a reduction in strength, but it's not terrible, really. Yeah, 3 cores. So he's got a decent amount of AV. And what's the actual... well, it's wooded, isn't it? So, let's see. Wooded is what, times 2? Yeah, times 2, so it's going to take him a little bit there to get us out of there, so that's okay. We'll let him do that. It doesn't make him much... well, it doesn't make a big difference, really. Now, as to whether he is detecting the 104th Division moving south, I do not know. Now, I note that the reconnaissance aircraft over here... well, you take a look at these guys. Is it these guys? Yeah, you look over here, it says Commander's Discretion. So I think what happens is when we actually select these hexes, it doesn't actually fly out there, as far as I can tell, or it does fly, but it cancels it. Well, we cancelled the attack beforehand, and then we attacked last turn. But he moved it. He was here, obviously, at the start of last turn, and then when we did attack, he was actually in the base at Nanning. But the thing is, I didn't see an actual tick of the movement there, so it was unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, we're going to do with these guys then. Let's see. Good information on Taeyeon. I don't know, I feel like that unit is probably marching over here to Chigang. No, we were going to attack. We discussed that one. It's just one of these things, obviously, the fact that we couldn't see the movement tick on the actual unit there. So it looked as though he wasn't actually moving. We didn't attack the previous turn, so I think that's the one you were thinking of there. Okay. 9 out of 10 here. So I'm actually tempted to hit Chengtai. The reason being I don't want to allow him to actually build up air power over there. But it might be we potentially allow it. Though saying that, well, It might be worthwhile allowing him to move additional aircraft into the area. The reason being we can actually hit them pretty easily. But I might begin... it might not be worthwhile doing. 33% damage there. Okay. I guess I'll run the detection over here in Nanning for that detection level. Okay. Right, it's going to take them some time to arrive, but that's okay. Not much I could do to expedite their arrival anyway. Do have this unit over here. Now, it is part of the Southern Army. So let's see. I'd like that at Singapore, really. Kyushu, I should really have that. In fact, I'm going to have this Kyushu. I think we'll have that converted into an actual AV, potentially. Well, I'll have it sent to Hong Kong. I mean, it's exceptional for what it's meant to do, but it's just... It's a waste. It'd be nice to actually have an AV. Okay. Houston ends. Let's take 2 of these then. That should be sufficient. I do have the APD over here, actually. I got the APD moving out. In fact, I'm going to take a few of these additional assets over here. Take them back to Malaya. Yeah, there's a few things over here that I need to make use of. Obviously, we were intended to bring the 38th Division back, but I can leave them there for the time being to actually potentially bring the 38th back, or potentially have forces transferred along the Chinese coast. Why is the loading resources? I'll never know. Right, so load that. Not take long to actually get that going. I might even have the submarine chasers move around this area. In fact, what I'll do with the submarine chasers... So we'll have that head out to Kotoburu. But what I'm going to do with the submarine chasers then. So ASW combat. Take these bad boys. Okay. I'm going to have them based out at Pescadores. And then potentially I could even have them based out closer, in fact. We'll have them based out of Fusha. So head to Fusha. What I'm going to do then is actually have them run escorts around here. Okay. Move some actual escorts into that area then. So they're going to head back to Shanghai to rearm, which is good news. I could have these guys begin to bombard, but I'm going to allow them just to keep on taking replacements. Look at these guys, level 3 fortifications there. We inflicted some fairly nice casualties at Wenkau, so that's good news. It's like we are getting there. I mean, there's the fires there. I'm not familiar with how the fires actually function in one Pacific Admirals Edition. Thank you very much there, Belen, for the follow. Much appreciate, my dude. It's nice to actually have the follow notification so you guys can actually see. Well, so I can actually see as well. It's really appreciated. All the follows, I can tell you that one. Okay, so I think in China there's not too much else that we can do here. Then obviously we do have these units moving to the south over here, which is good news. And we haven't yet left Changsha with those divisions. Or have we left Changsha? No, here they are. So they're making progress. And what's the actual road like at Changsha? So it's a major road then, so they should probably be out of here by next turn then. Have the 4th Brigade marching as well. It's one of these things, does he actually see that this is going on? Potentially so, but it's unlikely. No. How did that battle actually go? I think this is this one? No, that's something else. Right. There we go, I think this is it. 12th Mixed Brigade. So... 45 AV. I was going to keep on with the actual deliberate attacks. So if we take a look over here then. He's in Wooded Rough at the moment. If I could try and force him to move towards the clear terrain, that'd be fantastic. But the thing is, I don't know where he can actually go at this moment in time. I don't think he can trace himself back to an actual allied base, but we'll see what happens. I think we'll just keep on with the actual deliberate attacks. I mean, in that sort of terrain then, I don't want to take on a shock attack and it go badly wrong. I don't think he would, but I'd rather not take the risk. Okay, so I have a mixed brigade here. I'm going to have that actually sent out towards Luoyang, actually. Though, actually, you know what? It might be worthwhile to actually advance. I think we'll have it move north. But I'd like to have some reconnaissance over Luoyang, actually. So I'll tell you what we're going to do here, then. Where do I have aviation support over here in the north? Right. Chengchao has none. Well, we've just had an influx of new units move in, which is good news. We do have a lot of units. We are moving units towards the front line to Luoyang. Let's go try and get some reconnaissance sets up, and then we can try to figure out what we're going up against, really. Is it only here at Sushao? No, it's not even here at Sushao. Sushao. The hell do I have some aviation? Do I have it at Luoyang? No, not Luoyang. I can just fly from Hankow, it doesn't matter. Right. Quailin, Danning. I'm going to have you transfer to Hankow. Then you can run reconnaissance over Nanyang. The good news is we do have range to run reconnaissance over Xi'an as well, so we're going to be doing is running reconnaissance over these northern bases as well, actually. So we'll do that. In fact, I should have a few more reconnaissance aircraft that are potentially free this turn as well. That's Hengyang, that's Jikyang, that's Xiangtan. Hex 7750. Is that over here? 7750. So it does stick then sometimes, actually. That's interesting. Okay. So he might be about here then, because he's not here. He's not here. Obviously, he's definitely not here. And it's... Is it going here? Like, where the fuck is it going? We'll try and figure that one out, actually. So that's good to know that we actually have that sticking then. Sometimes it doesn't seem to stick. Yeah, like, that's commander's discretion. I don't know sometimes. So we'll try looking at this hex here then. Nanyang, Changsha, Hengyang. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do then, 5 out of 10 detection there. There's one unit there. I'll run some detection over here at Xi'an. It would be nice to see if there's actually anything there. Just make sure there's a little bit of rest there. I don't want to lose aircraft to operational losses, really, unnecessarily. Right, that'll do. So, we'll keep running the reconnaissance over about here, then. Because he might arrive here tomorrow, then, potentially. It depends, really. It depends on how long he's been marching. But he's got to be somewhere on that road there. I can't really... I don't know, where else could he have gone? That's the thing, where else could he have actually gone? So, maybe he's going south. If he's going south, that'd be fantastic, actually. It'd be kind of a crazy move. I'd be really happy if he was going south on that road there. One, it is a... Let's see. It's a secondary road, so maybe he's going south this way. Or maybe he'll just arrive here tomorrow. But as far as we can see, Chikyang is open. I'll tell you what, it might be worthwhile just to hit the airfield over here. If he's got some fighters over here this turn, it could be Fear Eyes, he could be sending additional ones next turn. How you doing there, Collar? Good to have you, my dude. Okay, so what I'm going to do here then. So I've got that squadron there. What's their range like? So that's 5 hexes. Is that enough to hit Chengchai? Whatever it is. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to hit the airfield over there. I think it's worthwhile. He's got 2 aircraft over here. We didn't see them the turn before. I'm pretty damn sure we've been running detection over here for some time now, reconnaissance over here for some time. So I think it could be theorized he might have more coming. So we're going to hit them. The thing is as well, it could... well, it is listed as like 2 fighters, so we'll see. So we'll set the level bombers to hit there. Set the fighters to obviously escort them too. Right, there we go. And we do have 32 points of damage there, supposedly at the airfield at Changsha. So he's not going to be building up that anytime soon. I've not seen any movement at Changsha either. We're really not seeing any movement in China at all at this moment in time, so I don't think he's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. So that's good to know. I think we'll have this unit move north, because then it would be quite nice actually put ourselves in a position where I could potentially flank Nanyang. Like a little bit of armor would allow us to do wonders, really. Okay, this is moving out. Yeah, a good idea. I think it'd be nice to see what the actual situation is going to be like over here. And the good news is we can see roughly what he has at Ichang. It is pretty incredible. You think he's got like 30 units over here. He's got 10 units over here. As to how many units he has over here at Nanyang, that'd be quite impressive. He's not going to build up his defenses that quick. He'll probably be able to repair that damage pretty quickly, but he'll not be able to build up any defenses yet. Than the fact he's building... So he's going to be at level 4 defenses. He's building up to level 5. It does take a lot to build up to level 5, and in some ways it's actually a good thing if he attempts to build up to level 5, because he's just using additional resources and he's just using additional supply, which is fine by me. He's not going to get to level 5 that quick. That's for damn sure. Then it's unlikely that we'll probably ever attack here again, really. Unless things radically, radically do change. Okay. And the good news is we saw that he really is not moving his actual ASW assets over here, so I'm going to leave them in place and let them punish him even more so. Eventually we'll start getting some hits on him, which is going to hurt. But yeah, if he doesn't move them this turn, he's going to pay for it. That's good news. Okay, then move that way. These guys... Right. Cannot dock. That's a shame. If I dump the patrol boat, can I dock? Yeah, no, that's what I forgot what I said, but I know what I mean. Yeah, between the two subs. Yeah, well, it looks like it's actually moving them back and forth. Once I get this moving out, then I'll do that. Good news is I can dock now. Okay. We do have some G4M1s in the area, actually, that are running the naval surge. No, I think they're actually running ASW, actually. Right, so I do have the 7th base force over here, then. Right, let's see. I mean, I could move some float planes into the area, to be honest. Northern Army headquarters over here. That gives me support, but not actual ASW. Well... I don't know, actually, about that one. I think we should be okay at 3,000 feet. I'm just thinking here, I mean, there's like 32 guns here, there's 947 guns here. If he was to have any, I don't know, he might have some decent AA, but I think we might be alright at 3,000 feet. I do want him to actually fire off his AAA. We'll see anyway. Okay, well anyway. I need like another aviation unit to move over here, really. I might just have some elements flown over there, to be fair. How you doing there, Talon? Good to have you, my dude. I do hope you're doing well. Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of them over here, and I might move some out, to be fair. I just need the aviation support, but I could have them moved over here, no issues. I do need to move aircraft aboard the Shoho this turn as well, actually. That's going to be something I'll be doing. I do have the Daves over here, actually. Daves, range ain't exactly amazing. It's one of those, is it? Right, okay, these guys are better, actually. That's awesome. I hope you have an awesome vacation, my dude. These guys could do better. It would be nice if we had some aviation support, though. That's the only issue. Yeah, and I could do a more aviation support over this way. I do have this base force over here, and I do have the 27th. Yeah. I think what we'll do then is we'll move the base force then. Ah, thank you very much there, Emperor of Finland. It's awesome to have you, my dude. Thank you very much there for the raid. So what we'll do then is we'll move the 7th whatever, over here to Wakanai. It's going pretty good, actually. It's going pretty good. Like, what we're going to do here then is just move some float planes. We've got a few Finns in here today, then. Okay, what we'll do then is move these guys over. Once we get some aviation support over here, then things will be alright. They're on the rail line, so it's not too bad. So we'll have them run the ASW then. That's a fair amount of fatigue on them, actually. We'll go about 60-40. Okay. So if we take a look at that range, that should cover this area quite nicely. No, I'd totally recommend it. Totally recommend it. Really is worth it, my dude, there. It's one of those games where, like, it really doesn't cost you that much. Like, in the long run, I mean, it's about $80 at the moment, but come, like, December, January, it'll be a lot cheaper anyway. Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, if you like a Paradox game, you'll be able to like this game. Drive the 11th JANF, Kagoshima. Okay, that's good, man. Horasaki. I think what I'll do is I'll take one of the units from Kagoshima, actually. All can be moved, that's good, man. Ah, right, I see, yes. Yeah, it would be nice to have a few more over here in the north, actually. So that's the 11th and the 5th. We'll get them moving then. Have them move out to Aminato. And can transfer them over then. Thank you very much for Infinite, much appreciated. Right, have them move out back to the north. Usayama. Well, you'd be happy to know then, I do believe, I do have it on good authority that we may in fact be seeing one of these two next year, actually. That's going to be really cool. Definitely looking forward to that. I think they're just working on the final implementation of just like one of the West-style air combat, and then just obviously the testing there. Okay, So I'm looking for Mutzi Armor. I don't even know where Mutzi Armor is. Suppose I'll go to the base list and not be lazy for once. For a whole 5 minutes. After this, there really isn't that much of the turn left to cover. Obviously, we'll go over the carrier situation, really think over our potential options. I do have in mind generally what I want to be doing there. Right, what's the armor? Oh, it's only there. Okay. Can they actually transfer to the mainland? No, so we're going to have to move them over. I'll move them over here anyway. Easy tutorial. Well, about that. There's not really a tutorial per se, but there's a hell of a large... It's a really good community, to be fair. Yeah, it's a really good community. And one of the best ways to learn... I know it sounds like I'm plugging myself here, but if you watch myself or THG, the best way to learn is really by asking questions. It's like I do not mind going through things here. It's like I'm not the most experienced player. There's some fantastic people here in the community as well. And if you do go ahead and join my Discord as well, you can definitely find a lot of like-minded people who enjoy the game. You can also find one of the developers over there as well. He's a really awesome dude. He's been absolutely awesome. Andy, you are my rock. I do not know what I would do without you. Yeah, tutorial. Yeah, the Matrix form's good too. Definitely worthwhile resource to make use of. Right. Okay, I'm just going to grab the one from Tokyo. I'm being a bit lazy now. Okay, so that would be the 38th. Have them move up over there to Ominato as well. Okay. Right, so that should be quite good there. Also, we do have the G4 M1s. I do have the H6K4 Memphis over here as well. It's annoying that I can't change their actual headquarters. I'd be tempted to move out the units, well, I'd be tempted to move out the H6K4s at Paramashiro Gmart to elsewhere, but what I'm actually going to be doing then is taking... Right, the good news is we do have some actual submarines moving out this way, which is awesome. They're going to come in a lot of use, actually, in the near future. Hell of a lot of use. But what I'm going to do here, then, is actually going to take the H6K4s over here at Wake Island. These bad boys are going to be transferred down to Canton Island. And there we go, have them transferred to Canton Island. Now, I don't think that leaves much of a gap in our actual search network. The reason being we obviously still have Midway. We do have Rima, which is covering the area around here as well, which is good news. A few jags over here, actually. I'm going to leave these ones because I know Infinite Nice to take care of those ones. Okay. So what do I have here then? So I do have these units here. Base Force. Where's this Base Force actually going? So the vast majority of it's at Tarawa. There's an element of it at Roinema. We do have these Naval Guard units. Right, that's the 66. So Tarawa, Bardwa, Funafuti. Jesus, this unit's spread out. I think what I'm going to do then is pick up the actual Naval Guard. We'll get them moving to where they need to actually be. I could move the base. Well, no, I need to grab the rest of the base force. So anyway, we're going to turn that on then. Turn that off, sorry. Just pick up these guys. As best we can. Yeah, so I've also got the Mavises over here at Tarawa as well, actually. I think I will keep them at Tarawa. I mean, you can take a look at this. So we have H6K4s here, 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 and here as well, which is really quite nice. So we do have a growing detection network, which is pretty fantastic. Now, speaking of detection, we were detected over here. And I did see, actually, the turn replay. Let's see. Right. Oh, I'm gonna have to scroll really far up now. Okay. Nearly there. Yeah, there we go. So this was a screenshot I took during the actual turn replay. So you can see there's actually ships over here to Pego. So that's something to bear in mind. Yeah, the War in the Pacific tracker is really awesome to use as well. I don't make as much use of it as I should do. And I'd love to take the risk there, but I don't think it's worthwhile, at least at this moment in time. So what I'm going to do is move... I mean, I don't know. We do have a large unit over here. It could be potentially worthwhile to move these guys to Funafuti. But then again, they came from Funafuti, so it's one of those, is it worth it? It would be nice to potentially even have them... I don't know, do we have them move out to Baker Island? No, actually what I'm going to do then is have them move over here to... you know... It might be worthwhile moving back to Funafuti, and then we can actually have the H6K2Ls fly them from Funafuti to Savai. So I think we'll do that. So it's a little bit of a waste of movement there, but I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to pull off something really quite daring there, but unfortunately not. But I could always have these guys made use of to take... I don't know. I don't think I can get away with it as of yet, but it's something to bear in mind. If that had been a smart cookie, I would have actually transferred the Wake H6K4s down there to Tarawa. I'll probably switch those squadrons around. It'd be nice to have more H6K4s in this area. But we'll see about that. Okay. You do have a float plane here, actually. Yeah. Right, okay. What I'm going to do then is actually have them operate by Palmyra. I'd like to gather some information about this area. Do you have a float plane? You do not. I'm just interested to see if there's actually still ships moving around this area. I would love to plan an operation for the Line Islands. That would be really very fortunate. So, okay, we'll address the elephant in the room then. So, yes. It is a very likely chance that this is the American CVs. We know that he'll have 4 fleet carriers at this moment in time, and we are now seeing a report here for, well, 3 CVLs and a CV. Now, of course, the report might be incorrect, and it could in fact be all 4 CVs, and it more than likely is. The thing that does make me wonder, though, is the lack of aircraft. It might be that we have better detection over the actual CV there than we do over the other ones, and therefore we didn't pick up more aircraft, but it's hard to say, really. The thing is, obviously, the actual float plane itself was shot down, so that's not exactly great. I'm going to have to get additional float planes down to that area really pretty damn quick. What we're going to be doing here, then, is... let's see, I could head down this way. I think what we need to do is try and cover this area here. This is where he may be potentially moving. The good news is he's not aware of this submarine, nor is he aware of this one. So I need to get down to this area ASAP, really. Well, yeah, that's true. The plan for the actual float planes is I want to have them operate further out over here. I want to be kind of aware of what's going in and out, but mostly out. I'm going to have the actual submarines that aren't armed with float planes really stick by. So what I'm going to do is have this guy. I mean, he's kind of... Well, he doesn't have a float plane anymore, unfortunately. So I think what we're going to do then... let's take a look. Yeah, we're going to be taking a look at that Spellfire. What I'd like to see then is what potential moves could he make. So say, for example, he was to head to Sydney. Right, so he would be heading that way then. There we go. So I can't do it with that guy, but I'm going to use him to actually just explore the actual routes here. So let's see then. You can definitely cover that route though. Maybe about here though. So then I can take this submarine over here, there. Sorry, over there. Here, there, and everywhere. You can cover this area. Well, it's one of those things. It's like, personally, I still think it's a mistake for him to be down here. I think all it's... I just don't see a good outcome for him here, really. It's just... I just can't imagine this being a good thing for him. I can understand that he's probably looking to raid in this area, which, okay, yeah, maybe. But he might be labouring under the assumption that we still have a great deal of logistical ships in this area. Yeah, the soundtrack for One Pacific is fantastic. The only issue is I believe it is indeed copyrighted, which is why I don't use it. Otherwise, I would have been using it. Kinda sucks. Kinda wish I could use it, but it is what it is. Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? Okay, we'll cover that area. Okay. Yep, you do have a float plane. That's good news. Let's see then. North to strike New Mare, that'd be a good one to cover. Right, to New Mare. Okay, so we need to cover this area here. Right, that works well. Okay, that works. And I'm looking forward to when we can actually get some naval search over here. That will be excellent. Now, that's interesting. He's running reconnaissance. I'm pretty damn sure he's running reconnaissance there. So he has detection over the actual base there. He could be running detection, so he could be running reconnaissance out from maybe Fiji, maybe even Norfolk. Hard one to decide there, really. It depends if he wants to counterport Moresby or even circle Australia. To be honest, if he wants to go to the Indian Ocean, he's more than goddamn welcome to. Ah, there you go. If you guys take a look at the actual link there from Monkey. Let's have a look, actually. Yeah, the holiday sales. Ah, what a time. What a time. Drinking, oh yeah, those good old boys drinking whiskey and wine. Or is it saying, this will be the day that I die? Oh dear. Okay. Okie dokie. Yeah, there we go, $29.60. Really awesome price. Right, so we've got these guys over here then. What we're going to do then is use these other submarines. So what I'll do then is have you head out from Wellington to Pago Pago. I do have a submarine around here as well, so that's quite handy. Now, that was actually previously, well, Well, it did attempt to attack, to be fair, last time. Okay, so we're going to be looking at this path over here, then. That works for me. That could be the likely path he's actually taken with his actual cargo ships. I'll have another one along this path, really. Though it would be nice to have another one down this way towards Sydney, perhaps. So I'll have you sent down that way. Right, another float plane here. I think we'll have this one patrol along this path over here, actually. It would be nice to potentially detect something near this area, Ralu Island. It's like Ralu Island would be a nice find there, really. You also have a float plane, which is excellent. Looks like there's additional submarines to head down to this area yet. That's good news. Okay. How you doing there, Winterwolf? As far as it goes for winning, it's not like you can say, oh yes, we're absolutely winning or we're absolutely losing. It's, do I want to be that close to the actual, I might stick on the actual patrol path I'm currently on, or at least go for somewhat between it, actually. Maybe a little bit closer like there. But yeah, it's hard to say who's winning and who's losing, really, because the war is... It's going to be a long war, really. We've had losses, we've had mistakes, but we're not doing too bad, really. I think we're definitely recovering, and I think we are making greater strides, really. But it depends, really. He has... Well, I mean, it is almost certain he has his fleet carriers down here at Wellington, which is... It's just crazy. You know what? I feel so happy to finally say, yep, we have a good idea where the American carriers are. We've known how to do that for a long time. And it feels good, man. It feels good. It just means that we can actually really begin to plan now. So I'm going to have some additional fuel over here soon enough, which is going to be great. These guys are still penning to load, which is okay. Not take them too long to be done there. So we'll get some actual aviation support into Comac, and then obviously have it march down to New Man, really. Yeah, the Clash of the Titans would be awesome there. Rightio. So these guys are obviously moving the fuel there. That's good. So we'll get some fuel into Espirito Santo. Obviously Luganville. Okay. Yeah, still got plenty of submarines moving down to that area. These guys over here are done loading and unloading, which is good news. Now, if I take a look over here, then we do have this element of the 24th Infantry Division. Sorry, Regiment, I should say. And I will keep it there. There are Allied forces on the island of New Britain, so it's probably worthwhile doing so. Just in case, really. Don't really want to have a unit come in there and kind of deal a big blow to our headquarters. So we'll keep it there for the time being. But what I will do then is actually move these forces back to Rabaul. Right, you're headed to Rabaul to refuel. I mean, there's a good few submarines over here, actually. It's a risky venture. Can handle about 6,000 tons, so I might want to go in with one less. It might be worthwhile just having it unload over here, really. It is presumable it would transfer anyway. I think we'll do that. It was a little bit risky there. I mean, there's at least 4 submarines and there's additional submarines moving into that area. To be honest, it looks like he's just determined to do that. So to be honest, I could probably punish him quite badly by doing things like that. Well, when he's doing things like that. So yeah, we'll do that instead, man. They're heading back. They're heading back as well. So we're going to go in there, pick up the rest of that force, or at least pick up that force back up, which is good news. And to be honest, what I'd like to do is potentially have some naval forces move down to this area over here. Well, not naval forces per se, but naval infantry. Naval ground units really move down to that area. We may be looking at taking some islands there in the near future. But as far as it goes with the American carriers, the idea that I have in mind in regards to them is, first of all, I'd love to have some additional naval search over here in Numair, but I'd like to make sure that we have effective naval search out from Luganville, Funafuti, Canton Island, which is going to be coming up next turn, ideally, which is going to be really good. But I'd like to make a play potentially out with Lion Islands, but I don't know if that's worthwhile doing as such. It would be potentially worthwhile to maybe move on Horn Island and Wallace Island, potentially lure him out. So what we want to do is we want to try and have an engagement near Luganville, within about 12 hexes of Luganville, really. Or if we base zeros out at Luganville, could potentially go for about 14 hexes of engagement. Well, basically, have 14 hexes where we could actually have the G4M1s and just other naval bombers actually able to strike out that way, and be escorted as well by the zeros. It's a tricky one, really. I do think it's inevitable that he will come to us. I don't think we need to worry about that one. I mean, I can't see a reason for him to move down to New Zealand and not do something, really. I think he's going to presume that we do have a lot of logistical assets in the Coral Sea, which, once upon a time, he was right. You know what I mean? That was correct some time ago. He may think, okay, well, New Caledonia has just fallen. Presumably, he may be looking to pull his forces out or have his forces move elsewhere. Which is not wrong, you know what I mean? That's not a wrong idea to actually have. Right, they're moving. But yeah. I think he's going to come to us. I don't think... I mean, there's a lot of conversations in regards to, like, heading out to New Zealand to attack him, and I'm not going to rule it out completely, but I'm just going to say it's definitely not my preferred option. I think the longer he remains down at New Zealand, the better, really. The reason being, the longer he remains here, the longer... I mean, this is it. We know where he is now. He doesn't have a clear idea of where we are with the Kinipatai. He probably has an idea that we're over here at Truk, but it's not entirely certain that he knows. But the longer he remains down at Wellington, the better, really. Because that gives us the additional time here to repair the actual CVs, actually repair the Kinipatai. You can see we have been repairing that damage over here, which is fantastic. It's not that long before we could feasibly be finished there. It gives our aircraft time to train as well, gives our fighters time to improve, which is good news. I don't know, it's one of these of the best kind of battle is the one that you win without fighting, really. Well, the thing is as well, I'd like to have a week or more. If he remains here for the foreseeable future, that would be fantastic. I will be looking at actually having the CVLs from the mini Kinipatai actually sent up here to Japan. I mean, depending on how long it takes, it might mean that we could have, well, how long it stays at New Zealand. It might mean that we could have a 7th fleet carrier able to join the Kinipatai and really try and go for overwhelming numbers there potentially. Or at least have access to overwhelming numbers. But what I'd like to do is actually have a free CVL task force sent out to the American waters there. The reasoning and the rationale behind that is they wouldn't approach the coast. As well, they would move somewhat close to the actual coastlines, but they wouldn't ideally move within range of aircraft. But what we'd like to do there is have them move out into these waters over here. The reason being, it's going to take them a hell of a long time. Like if we take a look at this, so Wellington to Pearl Harbor is 110 hexes. Wellington to San Diego is 171 hexes. So if we assume that he moves at 8 hexes per turn, which I think is correct. I don't know if it's in the entire turn, but I think it is 8 hexes per turn. I was getting it bloody wrong. But I think it's 8 hexes per turn. So if we take a look there, so 171 divided by 8. So it takes about 21 days or so to get there. Obviously don't take... well, take that with a pinch of salt. My maths is probably incorrect on this one as per usual. Or I might have a misunderstanding of how the actual mechanics of movement work, but I think that's roughly the sort of time frame we'd be looking at. You can imagine, obviously, for him to move to Pearl Harbor, it's not going to be that much less time. So if we save 110 hexes divided by 8, so that's 13 days, nearly 14 days. And this is it, that's assuming he makes a direct path. I mean, it could be a, it probably is around about that sort of, it might even be longer really, depending on the path he takes. But we could assume that something like that sort of time frame really. And that's assuming he makes it in one journey. He may have to refuel. Obviously, if he has destroyers, he's going to have to refuel those at some point. So it means he's going to have to make a pit stop, more than likely Pago, or Pago, maybe even Tahiti, but it's all distance really. It's all adding time on. So I think what we want to do here then is, I don't want to be using the carriers down, I don't want to be using the Kibatai. I want to try and lay down some groundwork in this area, which is what we're doing with the submarines and the actual aircraft. But what I'd like to do is keep the Kibatai repairing. Use them when they're actually required to move. Yeah, moving at cruisers roughly 8 hexes per day. That's it. And he could try and move there at full speed, but yeah, he's going to run out of fuel pretty damn quick there. That's not a very economic way to move about. So yeah, we do have the Kibatai that's currently remaining at truck. The longer it remains there to repair, the better really. The thing is, the Kibatai is almost more dangerous when it's unknown really, when he doesn't know where it is, because he's like, well, he's going to have to respect that. He's going to have to think, well, I can't do that because the Kibatai might be there. I can't do that, the Kibatai might be there. And this is it. We only very, very recently detected the USNCVs. Literally as they arrived at Wellington. So it's one of those really, isn't it? He's definitely taken a roundabout path potentially to arrive down in that area. It could have been that he headed to Tahiti and moved down to New Zealand. Potentially so. But either way, he's tried to move them undetected, and unfortunately that hasn't worked out for him. He got close. He did get pretty close. It's only really recently that we've moved submarines down to Wellington area, so that was actually a pretty lucky move there, really. And indeed. I think what we're going to do is get the Shoho ready. Though, I don't have to move it as of yet. It can remain in position as is for the time being. There's no issues with that. Well, yeah, as Monkey says, there's no guarantee that he arrived in Wellington this turn. That's absolutely correct, to be honest. Like, yeah, I don't know how long it's been there, really. That's actually a really, really good point there. Really good point there. He very well could have been there significantly sooner than we assume, really. So that's something to definitely bear in mind. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that would have been nice. If it was just moving in that turn, that would have been really nice. If potentially fired off a torpedo. That would have been a hell of a way to announce our presence. I was kind of thinking here, so we do have the Yagumo, the Asagiri, the Skiri. I'm thinking, do we have these oilers move out somewhere? I could have them, I've been saying Manus Island for a while, but I think I might have them move to Marcus Island. I'm just trying to think here, how do we want to do this? I could potentially have these CVLs head to Marcus Island, maybe Saipan, I don't know. I think we've seen some submarines around this area. There is some logistics at play. It might be worthwhile to have some oilers move to Marcus Island, but is that really the best move to make? It's one of these of, do we have the actual CVLs head all the way to Japan to meet up? But we'll take a look at the actual distance they'd have to theoretically travel. So it's one of these things, they have to get through this area as well, so it's gonna be an interesting one of that. So if we take a look then, so for them to head to Tokyo, or at least we'll say Yokohama, Yokosuka, I could even have them meet elsewhere, for example. I mean, even Chichijima might not be a bad idea to meet at. So let's take a look. So that's 76 hexes to Yokohama, Yokosuka. I think the CVL, I think Shoho is... Shoho might... Yeah, is that... Yeah, that is Shoho. So Shoho is currently at Yokohama, Yokosuka. 74 to Marcus Island. Yeah. There's not really much in it there, really, is there? It might be better just to head back to Japan then, because at least then we can actually repair any damage to the actual CVLs and have them properly outfitted before they do head off. That might not be a bad idea. It might be worthwhile just to head to Japan, really. Yeah, he could have swung south. I mean, this is it. I mean, you made a good point there. We don't know how long he's even been there. I think what I'm going to do here, then, is we'll take the actual destroyers and place some of the CVL. Yeah, Yokohama, Yokozuka, so obviously she needs some repairs. I could actually have them just stood down in port for the time being. It might. I think they should be okay. I mean, they're going to make some decent speed. It would be nice. I mean, it's a bit of a risk there having these oilers head out, but again, it does make me wonder: do I even have them head out? I don't have to move them yet. It could be worthwhile having them head to Panamashiro Jima. I think we have them head to Panamashiro Jima actually. At least from Panamashiro Jima, they could... Yeah, the oilers could head south to refuel them on their way. At least they could be operating over here where it's relatively safe. I think we'll have them head to Panamashiro Jima for the time being. Now, bear in mind this is only a... This is like a rough plan at the moment. Obviously, once we have a better idea of what's going on, then we can change things. I'm going to have them actually head away from the coast. I don't want to have them run into a submarine, actually. So we'll have this just set up for the time being. I think it's one of those, we need to figure out where we'd be approaching, where we'd be heading, and yeah. But I'd like to have some oilers ready to move out in case we do decide to move quickly. Let's take a look over here then. So Shoho. So we have that. I think we're going to be looking at moving 16 and 16. This is a recommendation that I got from Infinite, which I think is fairly good. So we'll have them transfer aboard with Shoho. Well, what I'll do then. So 8 there. Let's see. B5 and 2 Ks. I could have some D3A1 valves assigned aboard. And what's actually the, is it only 30? I thought it was more actually for Shoho. Okay. Right. I don't know. Do we? It would be nice to have some D3A1 valves on board, but it is one of those where I prefer to have torpedo capacity. Well, capabilities, really. I don't know. It's one of those of is it worthwhile. It's worthwhile when we don't have the torpedoes, but I think it's probably better to have the torpedoes at this moment in time, really. So what we'll do then is we'll place torpedoes aboard them. So that's a group of 10 there. 10, 10. Okay, brilliant. Right, well that takes us to 18. I'll put another 10. Excuse me. I could probably get more aboard. Obviously, once we do have the other CVLs, I could sort of work things out a little bit better. Right, let's see. Okay. Right, so that just takes us to 36 aircraft. Hey, doing there, come on. This is War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, a game where you can play the entire Pacific War one day at a time. We're going to have these guys set to train anyway. They're going to remain in Japan and we'll be able to figure the situation out from there, really. I think what I'm going to do then is actually have these guys dock and repair the damage while they are here. These guys can dock up then. So yeah, we'll wait for the actual CVLs to arrive from Kopang then, so they're going to take some time to arrive back in Japan now. But it will be worthwhile when they do arrive. I think it's one of these things, it's like, we might as well head for Japan, at least then we have all the capabilities in the world there to repair any damage along the way, etc, etc. I will more than likely be sending the actual heavy cruisers alongside them. I mean, Takao could definitely do that repair. So it's something to bear in mind, really. Okay. But yeah, we're going to be looking to lay the groundwork then. I'd like to increase the number of actual H6K4s I do have down here at Funafuti Canton, potentially. Well, the thing is, if he drops more than 2 A bombs, it's actually better for me, really. Oh dear. I think beyond that, there's not too terribly much here for us to do now. I think we do have things roughly ticking over for the time being. Right there. Well, they're heading back to Trucko, so they did deliver fuel to Roinuma. Right. You were tasked with taking supplies to Wake Island. How are we actually going over here at Midway Island in terms of damage repair? It is getting there. It is, in fact, getting there. Are these guys actually building up any... They don't have any forts at the moment. But I think once these engineers are actually free, they should, in theory, be able to build up the engineer. So they build up the actual fortifications out here as well. We do have our submarines heading out this way as well. So it's going to be quite handy then. So what we're going to be looking towards doing then is having a free CVL task force actually sent out to this area of the Pacific. That would be absolutely fantastic. These guys obviously heading towards Comac there. Well... It's one of those things there, really, isn't it? It depends on how many man-hours you have to actually put into the thing. But it can, yeah, you can learn the basics. The basics don't take that long to learn, really, but it's one of these things, it's like, it's gonna take some time to actually learn the actual fine arts of the game. But that's one of the beauties of the game, really. There's always more to learn. It makes things interesting, really. But I'd definitely say, play this against a human opponent, and the game definitely does take on a completely different light there, really. It is said there's no learning curve in War of the Pacific Admirals Edition. There's a learning cliff. Yeah, probably something like that. There we go. So you can see over here at Heika, we are continuing to unload the few thousand tons that we do have. So we do have 28,000 tons of supply over here at Heika. Obviously, there's an infinite... we can store, no problems, the amount of supply there. Yeah, there are small scenarios, which are really handy. We do have, yeah, look at that, 44,000 tons of supply out of Wujiang. So we have got a good supply stockpile built up, which is fantastic. How are we actually doing in terms of AV over here, then? So we're looking at 6,146. Obviously, there has been an influx of units, but some units will be leaving as well. Yeah. Well, it is like, I mean, Hearts of Iron 3 is quite similar to this game, really. They both, like, have a similar sort of approach. I mean, obviously you are looking down at a map of the world here, really, and, but this one's a turn-based game. But it is a far broader scope, really, than there is more depth as well, especially to naval. It's a very interesting game. I'd definitely say pick it up. Definitely worthwhile. Yeah, Hearts of Iron 4 sucks. You know what? You know what's even funny? Is it's like, I had somebody message me on Steam the other day and they're like, oh, what do you think about Crusader Kings 3? I'm like, there's a Crusader Kings 3? What? Like, I kept seeing this, like, I kept seeing on Reddit, like, links to an heir is born through Crusader Kings, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be some sort of fucking Crusader Kings 2 meme, or some sort of, like, new DLC, and it's like, apparently there's a Crusader Kings 3 coming out. Don't know jack about it. I don't know. I don't expect anything from Paradox, to be honest. I really do not expect much from Paradox. But I've heard there's some controversy at the moment about, like, Deus Vult, and it's like, wow, that's really progressive there, Paradox. You go, girls, you go, you fight that power. Oh yeah, there we are. Well, Paradox, please sponsor me. I have no idea. Yeah, Victoria 3 would be cool. But they'd probably fuck it up. So it is what it is. Okay. So I think we have everything done here, really. I mean, it's probably for one of the first few times there, really, where I've actually started down in an area, move my way up and around, and then come back and then finish, really. Usually it's just like dotting about from here to there. Right, you're moving in now, which is excellent. So they're going to be unloading, which is good. I should already have some fuel over here, actually. Right, fast transport. That's good. Get some more troops loaded up over here, then. I'm going to take some of the, what units over here? Let's take a look. Okay, that's the 8th Independent. We'll get the rest of the 8th Independent loaded up. Is there even an 8th Independent over here? I do not believe so. We do obviously have other elements of the 65th Brigade, which I'm going to be looking to move out pretty soon, actually. But these SLF cores are really quite good to make use of, so what I'll do is actually begin to load up some of these guys here. Verify the load up sept, get them loaded up. Right, there we go, so we are unloading here. As you can see, we have a grown amount of fuel moving in, which is fantastic. And, right, these guys are unloading supplies. I'm going to have them, I could probably have them move elements of the 65th Brigade, but I don't know if I'd have one ship move that. Which Stellaris is not bad. I mean, it is what it is, really, isn't it? It's like, I think the only thing is with Stellaris is it sort of presents itself as a grand strategy, like sci-fi, and it, like, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. Right, they're currently headed to Bombardoir. It would be nice to potentially have more aviation down here, but I think we'll make that decision soon. It's hard to decide sometimes. Right. So we've got that going, which is good news. We should have fuel moving into here pretty soon, actually. Looks like they're going to take about 2 turns to arrive. Which ain't too bad. What I'm going to do here, then, is actually have these guys meet this task force as well to escort them further. Okay. We'll have our bombardment over here, which is going to be good news. These guys are heading over here to Timor. We do have the G4s set up. Obviously, we do have the largest squadron, majority covering the north over here, and we do have, obviously, the other half covering this area down here further to the south. It's a vice grand strategy game, yeah. Okay. So stood down most of the bombers over here in Malaya. We're going to be hitting Singapore with a few bombers, but I'm going to be attempting to draw out his actual P-39 Aerocobras, really. He did try to jump on us with the Arrow Cobras, so I'm going to try and deal with that this turn, really. And don't get me wrong, like, if it's a good game, I'll be happy, you know what I mean? I think everybody would be happy about one. It would be nice if it was a good one, but we'll just have to see about it, really. Okay. Right, so we do have... Yep, so that's the artillery that's moving towards Singapore, which is good news. Those are our tank regiments moving there. It's interesting that it's actually moving west. That is interesting, actually. It's interesting we've even spotted those guys. Right. That is a pretty risky move, actually. Probably not required. Might be worthwhile to have that head towards Zinkawang, but even then, that's not really necessary. Hey, do there, Jack Tank. This is the THG game that we're playing here, the actual play-by-email one against THG. The one I'm playing against Major Problem is the Marianas game. I think I'll have this head towards Saigon. I don't want to have it move in through the Philippines as of yet. But yeah, we'll send the light cruiser task force over here, and that'll make quick work of these patrol boats over here. Definitely make quicker work of them. And then once we actually have the Sulu Sea up and open, then we can start looking at what we can do here. And to be honest, I'm going to be looking at actually landing on more of these islands in the Philippines as well. We do have some Naval Guard units kicking about, and I'd like to make use of them, really. I do have these Naval Guard units as well. We'll see what we can do with those. Okay. And this is it. It's interesting, but it's actually looking to fight us again down here. But we'll look to punish him for that. Brave of him even to base aircraft at the actual airfield. To be honest, I think he's basing aircraft over there. I don't imagine they're anything other than buffaloes, to be honest. I think he's looking to base them there at Singapore just to try and draw us in, like, oh, hey, he's got aircraft over there, let's bomb them. Like, I know he's got aircraft at Palembang, but I'd rather hit them as they go on the long-range combat air patrols. But even then, he's obviously got the air base at Singapore, so it's unlikely that it's going to lose much. Well, too much. But we'll see. Okay. I think we will call that the end of the turn there, actually. Though what I'm going to say here, then, is I'm not going to end the turn quite yet. The reason being, I just want to have a little bit of time just to think if there's anything I've missed going over here. And, yeah, then I'll send the turn over. I'll let you guys know when I've sent the turn over, but I think, as far as I'm concerned, the turn is more or less done here now. I'll look to try and get it sent off tonight or tomorrow at absolute latest there. So I'd like to say a big thank you to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching, and it has been a pleasure to be here with you guys once again. And the numbers have been fantastic, actually. Really good to see the amount of support turning out here. It really does make me feel... I get the little fluttering of the heart there. Really appreciate my dudes. Always great to have you back. And of course, for those of you who are new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel on YouTube at XTRG. And of course, follow me here on Twitch at XTRG as well. And of course, I do have a Patreon if you guys would like to support my content and see the channel grow. Until next time, thank you so very much for watching. I hope to see you in the future. Tenno, Heika, Banzai. It is a multiplayer game. Yes, this is a play-by-email game. It is indeed turn-based, however. But indeed, until next time, thank you and good night. Have a